All right, so we all know this little white pill, right? Aspirin. For what, over 100 years, it's been the thing we reach for. Headaches, aches and pains, even to help our hearts. But what if this simple pill, sitting in pretty much every medicine cabinet, is hiding a secret? A really, really big one.
Yeah, you heard that right. Some incredible new research is pointing to something wild. The idea that aspirin could be a key player in stopping one of the absolute deadliest parts of cancer. So, how? How could this everyday pill take on such a monstrous disease? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack right now.
Okay, so to really get how aspirin fits into this puzzle, we first have to talk about the real enemy here. And surprisingly, it's not just the tumor itself, it's what the cancer does, its ability to move. The scientific name for this is metastasis. And you can think of it like this. It's when cancer cells basically go rogue. They break away from the main tumor, jump into the bloodstream, and travel around trying to set up new shop, new tumors, in totally different parts of the body. And that journey is what makes cancer so incredibly deadly. But, and this is a really interesting twist, that trip is also super dangerous for the cancer cells themselves. I mean, think about it. They're being attacked by our immune system, they're getting tossed around in the chaos of our blood flow. Honestly, most of them don't survive. So, you have to ask, how did the successful ones actually pull it off? Well, here's the thing. It turns out they're not acting alone. They've got help. An accomplice, a kind of bodyguard that they recruit from inside our own bodies without us even knowing it.
So, this was the big question for scientists, right? How in the world do these cancer cells survive such a brutal trip? What's their secret weapon?
And the answer is it's just amazing. They actually recruit our own blood platelets. You know, the little tiny cells that rush in to stop the bleeding when you get a cut? Yep. Cancer turns those little first responders into its own private security force.
And this alliance, this partnership, it works in three really clever and kind of sinister steps. First up is the shield. The platelets literally form a cloak around the cancer cell, hiding it from our immune system's patrols. Then you've got the signal. The platelets start pumping out these molecules that are like a performance-enhancing drug for the cancer cell, making it way more aggressive. And finally, there's the anchor. The platelets make the cancer cell super sticky so it can grab onto a blood vessel wall and, start building a new tumor.
It's a brilliant, but nasty strategy. But this is where our little aspirin pill finally comes into play. See, aspirin does something really clever. It doesn't go after the cancer cell itself. Nope. It goes after the bodyguards. Okay, so how does it do it? Aspirin's main target is this enzyme called COX-1. Now, the easiest way to think about COX-1 is like it's the ignition switch on the platelets. If you can't turn that switch, the platelets can't get revved up and activated to do their thing.
So when that COX-1 ignition switch is turned on, the platelets start producing a very important molecule. It's called thromboxane A2, or just TXA2 for short. And that is the aggression signal we were talking about before. It's the green light, the chemical message that tells the cancer cells to ramp up and get more aggressive.
And you can see exactly how this takedown works right here. In a normal situation, the platelets make that TXA2, which in turn flips the switch on the cancer cells, giving them their shield and making them aggressive. But if you introduce a low dose of aspirin, the whole thing just falls apart. Aspirin jams the COX-1 enzyme, that means no TXA2 gets made, and the result? The cancer cell is suddenly left totally exposed and much, much weaker.
So to put it simply, aspirin just completely sabotages the bodyguards. The platelets don't get activated, that protective shield they try to form, it just can't. That aggression signal telling the cancer to get tough, it gets switched off. And so the cancer cells are left naked and vulnerable as they travel through the bloodstream, which is exactly how we want them. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds amazing, right? And honestly, it is. But this is the point where we need to take a step back from the really cool science and talk about some super important real-world precautions.
Because, and this is crucial, even though this is a massive breakthrough in how we understand cancer, it absolutely 100% does not mean everyone should start popping aspirin hoping to prevent it.
Let me be crystal clear about this. Aspirin isn't harmless. It carries real risks, like the potential for serious internal bleeding. This is a powerful drug. It should only, and I mean only, be taken for something like this if your doctor tells you to. They're the only one who can weigh the pros and cons for you personally.
Okay, so let's recap the big points you need to remember. First, aspirin doesn't kill cancer cells directly. It just makes the bloodstream a really bad neighborhood for them to travel through. Second, its real potential might be after a diagnosis, to help prevent the cancer from coming back. Third, and this is important, this is still very new research. There are a lot of clinical trials happening right now. And finally, the most important rule of all, always, always talk to your doctor.
So yeah, the science is still unfolding. But it leaves us with this incredible, mind-bending thought, doesn't it? That a pill that's been around for over 100 years, one of the most common medicines on the planet, might hold a secret key to disarming cancer. Not by a frontal assault, but by outsmarting it, by breaking up that secret alliance it forms inside our own bodies. It just goes to show the future of this fight might be hiding in some very unexpected places.